We're on CNBS. Bernstein Tech Analyst's best idea for 2024 is to short Tesla stock. Now, I just have to say it. Any analyst whose best idea for an entire year has ever been to short Tesla stock is in the wrong career. That's not to say there haven't been moments in time when you could have made a return shorting Tesla stock, but at any point from Tesla's IPO until present moment, to have actively gone short Tesla stock has been asking to get your financial ass handed to you. Doesn't mean the stonk always goes up, but it's an absolutely insane bet. So we're going to actually read the new research note from Bernstein to explain why their best idea for 2024 is to short Tesla stock. Oh boy. But first, some historical context. A great thread here on X from Jim Hall. You guys know Tony Sacconaghi, right? He may possibly once or twice have asked one or two boring and or boneheaded questions on Tesla earnings calls. So check this out. Fun fact, Tony Sacconaghi has never had a buy rating on Tesla stock, even though he's been covering it since 2016 when the stock was $16 and jumping in here when I first began purchasing. If actions are anything to go by, given the fact that I've been buying Tesla stock since the beginning of 2016 and haven't stopped and have sold none, it's safe to say that Tony and I have a very different opinion of the company and its intrinsic value. All Tony has ever had on Tesla stock were either holds or sells, missing and fighting against a 2,500% gain, and has been dead wrong for nearly a decade. I mean, that is quite an accomplishment, Tony. Now we can see here, since he began covering this stock, first handful of years hold, then Tesla surges, and now Tony's been sell the entire time. Now, sorry to do this to you, Tony. I'm just kidding, as if Tony's watching YouTube. If he did, he probably might understand Tesla a little bit better. This from August 21st, 2019. I don't know why they're calling him a top tech analyst or even a tech analyst, but anyway, top tech analyst. Truth is, Tony's actually a very confused automotive analyst who shouldn't have been covering Tesla. Says electric vehicles from Jaguar and Audi are stealing market share from Tesla. Bernstein said increased competition abroad is responsible for the weakness in Tesla's sales volume. Anyone want to remind me how many vehicles Tesla was selling per quarter back in August 2019? In Q3 2019, Tesla produced 96,155 vehicles and delivered 97,000. In Q3 2023, this year, Tesla produced and delivered over 430,000 vehicles, more than a quadrupling in production and deliveries from 2019 to 2023. One more time, more than a quadrupling, Tony. What was that you were saying about a weakness in Tesla's sales volumes? I think there's a weakness in Tony's ability to reason. I'm just kidding. Obviously, by now, Tony's certainly learned his lesson about being completely wrong when he thought there was weakness in Tesla's sales and demand back in 2019, and the company has since more than quadrupled the number of vehicles they're selling, clearly indicating he was completely wrong. Surely he's learned his lesson after being so embarrassingly wrong back in 2019, right? He'd never make the same mistake again, right? Quote, our analysis suggests that the deteriorating sales trajectory of the Model S and X may be primarily due to competition, particularly in Europe from Jaguar and Audi. I'm not sure if Tony and the folks at Bernstein are aware, but the S and X are both sideshows, and even at the time this was written back in 2019 were both sideshows. They're low volume vehicles. Way to miss the forest for the trees. Tesla's intent has never been to compete in the high end at the luxury vehicle market and stay there. That's just where they debut new technology for their high volume vehicles, the 3 and Y. Anyway, Sacconaghi said Tesla sales weakness is brought on by competition, especially in Europe. New European luxury vehicles like the Audi e-tron, aka Turd, and the Jaguar I-Pace are all taking market share. Anticipated releases from Mercedes and Porsche could worsen the problem, he said. So, we're currently looking at Jaguar I-Pace sales. Context on the left here, going up by increments of 2,000. And these are quarterly numbers, not monthly. Best quarter ever for Jaguar I-Pace sales, 8,000 units. Looks like the average sales per quarter is maybe 3,000 per quarter. 12,000 a year, with the benefit of being able to leverage the Jaguar brand. Now, at least they're selling a few, but one of the many reasons why Tony and Bernstein have previously been bearish on Tesla was because they believed that products like the I-Pace were concerning for Tesla. I-Pace sales down 28% year over year at the beginning of this year, and by Q2 this year, they're now down 38% year over year, and it will be discontinued in 2025. Now, as far as I know, Tesla's still making Model S, and in fact will continue to make Model S, even though focusing on these low volume vehicles is completely irrelevant and missing the point anyway. And as Jim points out here, meanwhile, Model Y is now the best selling vehicle worldwide. Here's a classic. Bernstein downgrades Tesla and says the stock will tank 42% from its mind-boggling valuation, which this is from June 28th, 2020. So let's see what happened after this great call. Okay, instead of falling 42%, Tesla stock nearly tripled from that point in time and then came back to reality. So good call, but of course it must just be because the market's really dumb over long periods of time and eventually they're going to be right? And unfortunately, back in 2015, Tony's saying that Apple's best days are behind it, echoing those statements almost 2 years later in 2017. No doubt that Apple's best days are behind it. Awkward. I think this user on X summed it up perfectly. So a strong contraindicator then. But obviously this time is different, right? Let's read the note. Key takeaways. Tesla continues to have a demand issue. We believe, by the way, there's going to be a lot of we believes that, well, they may believe are not going to age well. We believe demand weakness stems from Tesla's narrow and expensive product family, which is reaching saturation, and continued competition in the EV space. While there has been some recent weakening of EV demand, false. I'm not going to go over this again. It's just not true, okay? I'll cover this in a future video. We do not believe this is a primary contributor. Tesla had to dramatically cut its prices in 2023, and we believe will need to do so again in 2024. So, what are the odds that we're going to hear any references in this note regarding Tesla's trollingly titled Secret Master Plan, in which they explain their intent over time was to drive the cost of compelling electric vehicles so low that everyone could afford them? I think the odds are about 0%. Now, the other thing is affordability right now. Not demand, but affordability is a major problem. Does anybody notice what happened here in early 2022 with interest rates? Let me zoom in so you guys can see nice and close. Interest rates essentially zero early 2022. Today, approaching 6%. Now, that's a gigantic increase. Such insane rate increases, never been seen before in such a short period of time. You have to understand, this is madness. Now, given the fact that vehicles are one of the biggest purchases households will ever make, second only to a home, given that many consumers finance a vehicle in one form or another, and finance has an interest rate, meaning that a significant number of consumers purchasing a vehicle are paying interest, and if prevailing interest rates have gone from essentially 0 to almost 6%, never mind markups, is it possible that that could have put some pressure on the sales of large consumer products that consumers often finance that they don't necessarily need to buy today, also known as vehicles? Yes. In addition, these interest rates have also affected mortgages. A lot of people sitting tight, can't refinance, can't sell, or don't want to, causing a lot of consumers who intended on purchasing a vehicle to delay that purchase because either they now can't get finance or they just don't want to take the pain. Also, you guys can probably ignore the post here from Gary Black that I was quoting when I posted this, in which Gary said, "Don't let anyone fool you that Tesla stock has done well since Elon announced he would acquire Twitter in April 2022. Yeah, did someone say April 2022? Anyway, the point that I'm making here, it shouldn't surprise anyone, at least with a functioning brain, that interest rates soaring in a short period of time would have put insane pressure on companies selling products for tens of thousands of dollars that people don't need but just want. As a result, Tesla has responded by passing on price cuts to continue selling through volume. Will we see any mention of interest rates in these notes? Again, two important factors. Tesla's own mission statement, they're going to drive the cost of their vehicles down and pass those savings on. That's how the world transitions to sustainable energy. And interest rates absolutely soaring, having a major impact in 2023. A lot of people financing vehicle purchases. I'm curious if this will even be mentioned. I think the odds of that are about 0.42%. To grow volumes year over year by 485,000 units in 2023, Tesla cut prices by 16%, pressuring auto gross margins by 750 basis points. For 2024, consensus expects Tesla to grow volumes by 400,000 plus units, prices to be essentially flat, and auto gross margins to increase by around 200 basis points, which appears incredulous, given that most of Tesla's cost reductions in 2023 are unlikely to repeat in 2024, and Cybertruck is likely to be an incremental 100 basis points impact to gross margins. Now, a couple of things here. It's impossible to know the future. If I were to speculate, I would be surprised if Tesla is forced to push prices further down on any of their vehicles in any meaningful amount next year. Why? Again, I could be wrong, but I don't anticipate interest rates going higher. In fact, I actually anticipate interest rates starting to come down sometime next year. Of course, if you're Bernstein and you don't realize that things matter and things like interest rates soaring matter, You go, oh, Tesla cut prices, there must be no demand. Let's ignore the interest rates. You assume, oh, there's a problem with demand, therefore if they want to sell more vehicles, they'll have to slash prices even more. And their costs can't come down, therefore margins are going to go down even more. Again, I could be wrong, but if I were a betting man, I'm betting that these guys are going to be very embarrassed by these comments. I personally think interest rates are done moving up and will be coming back down. And as that happens, consumers who previously couldn't get finance or decided to push off the purchase of a vehicle because interest rates are high, they're scared, oh my God, the economy, might start following through with purchases. Only time will tell. We believe that Tesla will disappoint on both units and revenues and EPS in 2024 and are notably below consensus. We forecast Q4 2023 revenues and GAAP EPS of 25.1 billion. While significant downward EPS revisions had no impact on Tesla stock this year, we see limited growth in 2024 and 2025 and believe a waning of the growth narrative could weigh on the stock's multiple. Now, it's definitely true that Tesla's year-over-year rate of growth in terms of vehicle deliveries is going to be likely lower in percentage terms from 23 to 24 than it has been in many other years. Cybertruck ramp will be slow, but Berlin's still scaling up. They're still squeezing out more capacity at Shanghai and Fremont. And remember, everyone continues to just pretend that this never happened, but Tesla has told us explicitly they've got a next-gen vehicle up their sleeve. They're going to be building production lines first in Austin, where they already have existing space in their existing facilities. They don't need to construct a new factory to do so. They're very far advanced in these production systems, and I'm very confident that at some point in 2025, Tesla's going to begin production on these things with a new system designed to be able to produce these vehicles as fast, keyword fast, and affordably as possible. Out of seemingly nowhere, Tesla vehicle volumes are going to surge on the back of their next-gen vehicle. Again, I have to emphasize this. An entirely new manufacturing system has been designed, a modular system, never been done before, with a major focus on increasing the speed with which vehicles can be produced. All the pre-existing assumptions about how fast a company can ramp up production at a factory, throw them out the fucking window. This is going to shatter records. But Bernstein may be right over the next year or two. Growth relative to prior years could be slow, but it's a major mistake to ignore the impact of Tesla's next-gen vehicle and how quickly that thing's going to be produced at scale. Whenever they do start ramping, look the fuck out. Our valuation work points to a fair value for Tesla of $120 per share. Assuming 17% operating margins and 10 million cars sold in 2050. God damn it, dude. Can somebody please set a reminder to check back? I don't know. Let's call it 2027. Someone set a reminder, check back. Let's see how many vehicles Tesla sold in 26 and how many they're on track for in 27. Boy. We set our price target at $150 a share and see current risk reward as unfavorable. Now some rather amusing highlights. If you guys want to pause and look at the numbers, feel free. We don't believe that slowing EV growth has been a principal contributor to Tesla's struggles. Wait, what struggles are they talking about? Model Y, best-selling vehicle on Earth. Tesla's already sold more vehicles this year than they did last year. Continuing to scale globally. Insane interest in Cybertruck. And by the way, there is no slowdown in EV growth. We've covered this. I guess that what these geniuses are suggesting is Tesla's struggles are Tesla pricing their vehicles at whatever the market clearing price is during an unprecedented period of insane interest rate hikes. In response, Tesla has had to continuously lower prices through 2023. Now, we are looking at Tesla prices indexed to November 2022. Basically, starting prices here, and anything below that is a price decline. Anything moving up is an increase. Notice a trend. Overall, prices coming down, depending on the trim and variation, whether it's the US or China-made vehicles or German. Biggest reductions on the US Model Y, which remember, not long ago, Elon Musk was out here literally saying that prices for their vehicles were embarrassingly high. Remember that? Weird that hasn't been mentioned in this note either. Think about this for a moment. CEO of a company, the techno king of Tesla, to be specific, says that he's embarrassed by how high the prices are on the company's products. What fucking CEO would even say that? Who would say that? Embarrassingly high. And then, just a matter of months later, Elon makes these comments. Our prices are embarrassingly high. In mid-2022, a few months later, Bernstein's price index in November 2022, a few months later, from that point, Tesla vehicle prices start coming back to reality, yet there appears to be absolutely no mention at all from Bernstein. At all, that Elon Musk himself was literally describing Tesla's prices as embarrassingly high just a few months prior to this magical index showing that Tesla prices have started coming down. Hello? You'd think if these guys were being reasonable, they'd say, Well, in fairness, Elon Musk, just prior to the start of this data point, did actually describe Tesla's vehicle prices as embarrassingly high. Oh, and for some reason, 2022, I'm getting some vibes. 2022, 11th, 2022, November 2022. Why does that ring a bell? Oh, I see. Smack bang in the middle of the insane interest rate increases. People really starting to feel the pinch. That's weird, isn't it? And here's a great one. Tesla continues to have a demand problem. In large part because of its narrow product range. And as we can see, clear evidence of demand issues. Model 3, the number one selling vehicle in its segment, 13% market share in the $40,000 to $60,000 sedan segment. Clearly indicative of demand issues. Now just take a moment here. Tesla continues to have a demand problem. According to Bernstein, this was published in December 2023. Rewind the clock to Q3 2019, and these dumb f***s were claiming that Tesla also had a demand problem, and since that point in time, Tesla quarterly sales have more than quadrupled. So, I have a question. Does Tesla really have a demand problem, or do Bernstein have a cognitive problem? Model Y, number one in its segment, with an 18% share of the $45,000 to $65,000 segment. Even Tesla's irrelevant Model S, 7% market share. And keep in mind, this isn't electric vehicles, this is vehicles. Model Y on track for 2023 to sell 1.245 million units. I genuinely feel that the folks at Bernstein have a major problem, and that would be expertise in the automotive industry. Because everyone has to do things the same way, and therefore, if you don't have 25 different models in every category with 1,200 different trims and variations, you are doing it wrong. Example, let's look at Tesla's Model Y versus the so-called competition. Model Y, 18% share of its segment, which is a single vehicle model, which, according to Bernstein, is a problem. Tesla needs more vehicle models. Really? Well, let's just do a fun exercise. Are you good at math? BMW takes the number 2 and 3 spots in the same segment, with the 7 and 6% respective market share on their vehicle models. Combine two BMW models with twice the complexity, lower economies of scale, etc., together, combined, only a 13% share of the same market in which Tesla's single vehicle model has an 18% share. But wait, there's more. Let's add the next best-selling vehicle as well, the Lexus RX, another 4%. Combined, the number 2, 3, and 4 best-selling vehicles in this segment have 17% total market share, 3 models, versus Tesla's single vehicle, the Model Y, at 18%. So I'm not quite sure that the Bernstein reasoning's checking out here. But in their world, hey Tesla, you're doing it wrong. You need more models and variations. Don't you understand? Put differently, the top 5 vehicles in this segment have 39% of the market share. Tesla's Model Y alone, of that share, is close to half. But they're definitely doing it wrong, and they need way more vehicle models and variations, obviously. Now, it's true, there are many segments Tesla is not yet in, keywords not yet, but will be. And guess what's going to happen when they enter those segments? We're going to see the same shit repeated again. Total domination. I wonder if Bernstein in this note have said anything about Tesla's next generation vehicle platform, which we know is extremely far advanced and will be first ramping up in Austin, where Tesla already has space. They don't need to build a new factory before they start ramping this thing up. You know what segment that's going to effectively be competing in, right? These top rows here, likely a sedan and SUV variation. All I can say is brace for impact. Now, irrespective of whether or not some of the short-term predictions from Bernstein are accurate or otherwise, it is worth considering the track record when it comes to Tesla stock. Not a single buy rating in almost a decade of coverage. That's ponderous. Disproven thesis after thesis. Embarrassingly wrong for an extended period of time, the better part of a decade. Not exactly what I would call credible. And then we come to the final point. Their best idea for 2024 is to short Tesla stock. Are you fucking serious? Even if they actually believe in their $150 Tesla price target, surely they have learned that historically, betting against Tesla stock has been one of the dumbest possible things anybody could do. I really do feel bad for Tony and the folks at Bernstein. They simply do not understand Tesla. They do not understand electric vehicles. They do not understand technology. If it wasn't so sad, it'd kind of be funny, but I feel sad. I really feel bad for these folks. Clearly out of their depth intellectually. Something's broken in the brains of the folks over at Bernstein. Their reasoning is so far off point, it's absurd. We just saw that note. No mention of interest rates. They foolishly think that EV demand is slowing down. Their reasoning as to Tesla price cuts appears to be no demand as opposed to interest rates through the roof, Tesla pricing at the market clearing price. They seem to be under the impression that Tesla having one category killer per category is not good enough. No mention of Tesla's secret master plan. The whole point was to drive prices lower. No mention of Elon Musk explicitly describing Tesla's pricing just before their price decline index as embarrassingly high. No mention of Tesla's next generation vehicle. It's just sad. I think, can somebody send help? They really need it. Holy shit. What's that saying? You can't fix stupid? I just can't even, dude. This is going to be a Hall of Fame classic call. One more time. Bernstein Tech Analyst's best idea for 2024 is to short Tesla stock. Holy fuck. What's the definition of insanity? Something to ponder. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, When I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link at the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links at the pinned comment, see you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.